Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot. With your girl coming at you with another pick a card read. Today we are going to go into how does your energy affect others. I'm just trying to keep it light for now, as these are my first readings back after everything that has happened. And if you're wondering what that is because you're new here, just know that anything that's going on with me that affects the channel, or just to be human, right? We experience human things. I will always put that in the community tab so as not to take away too much from your reading. So I just want to thank you to everyone who has wished me well and sent prayers and reminded me of the beautiful things that come from having a lovely companion such as Aria in my life. I deeply, deeply, deeply miss her. And yeah, I don't want to get into tears on the beginning of the video. I had a beautiful message before I even started this, and I feel like, while it was for me, I do feel called to tell this to the collective as well, because I do feel like this is a collective message. Today we are going to choose from my spiral oracle cards, but this was a card that just kept coming to me and wouldn't let go. If you can see how beautiful this artistry is here. And I was told to look it up, and I cannot make it up, but I opened right up to the page that it was on. It says, open your heart, open to feeling, open to understanding, leave reason aside and let the hidden sun inside you shine. Open yourself to the ancient memory hidden in the earth, in the plants, in the water, under the fire. It's time. Now is the time. Open your heart. Surrender. I surrender to my true feelings. I climb the walls that I've placed inside myself. I overcome my own barriers. I let go of my armor. As I acknowledge thoughts of harm directed to myself and to others, I am now able to forgive myself and let them go. Now with new clarity, new joys come. And right underneath that is I am the source, as well as cosmic uterus. So these are just absolutely like, it was just so profound, honestly. So that was one of the channel messages. And real quick, the other channeled message is that there is someone on here who is feeling extremely disconnected from reality, from life in general, and feels very clumsy. And Source just wanted to say that this is just a phase that you're going through. Like, we go through ups and downs, and maybe you've always been clumsy or felt like you've always been clumsy. However, you have to be clumsy in order to find your grace and your elegance. And so remember that if the more clumsy that you are, the more graceful that you will be when you find your inner balance and you become centered within your own being and self. Okay, so those are really important. I wanted to get those off right away before getting into my whole spiel that I have. So as always, these are general messages, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't, knowing that as you interact with the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing, it does allow me an opportunity to directly connect with you and get you out more resonant readings. If you're interested in a personal reading, you'll find my email down below in the description box. Send me an email. That way I can get you out further information, as well as how many more spots are available for the week. Know that they do fill up rather quickly, so it is first come, first serve. Also, check out my podcast at Scatter Love Radio, and you will find the link down below to connect with me there, to take me on the go if you just can't get enough of me. I'm starting to feel better, so I thought, why not do a reading while I have energy and I'm feeling good. And it has been really up and down this week, so doing any readings has been just really like pulling teeth. And so instead of pulling teeth, I decided that I wasn't going to get into that. And so now here I am. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that has joined this channel and become a part of this journey, because that's truly what this is. It's just a journey of us coming together and helping each other, because I feel like as much as I may help you, you have helped me in such a miraculous and wonderful way. And I just want to say thank you so much. And if you're new here, welcome. And here's your reminder that this is a safe space for you to come as you are in this here, now, here moment, to be authentic and true to your spirit self, right? Not the human ego, the spirit self. So feel free to open up and be yourself. If you've been hiding, this is a very safe space for you to become the true you. I am going to say, because I feel like I do need to say this, any narcissists that are watching, I ask that your timeline gets dissolved. And yeah, just beware. So that needs to be said, because I feel like a lot of us empaths deal with narcissists. So if that's something that you're dealing with currently, you can absolutely say that and let them deal with their own journey on their own. Is that everything? I think so. I think so. So let's go ahead and shuffle this, and we'll go ahead and get some cards from here. I've got the stickers out too. I put them somewhere. There they are. I see them. Oh, look, the Fibonacci made its appearance. So it goes around, comes around. That's what I just heard. So, all right, Source, let's get into this. What oracle cards will help us understand how the collective's energy affects others? Thank you. All right, and then once we get into the reading, just know I will have to check these off camera because there are some very risque cards in here. And if they're risque, I will have to cover them up. So for pile number 1, how does pile 1's energy affect others? What oracle card will help us understand that better? Okay, thank you. Oh my gosh, I didn't do the prayer. How silly of me. Let me get the cards done and I'll do the prayer. I'm having a time. Welcome back to humanity, huh? And for pile number 2, Source, what oracle card? Wow, thank you. Okay, I think you all are getting 2 cards today because they're flying out. All right, Source. And for pile 3, what oracle card will help us understand how pile 3's energy affects others? Yep, everybody got 2 cards. Interesting. That's a very interesting thing. Look at what came back out on the bottom. Look! Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. All right, I feel like that has to do with our prayer, which is why I didn't actually get into our prayer. So I'm going to get into the prayer right now before we get into our choice. So it's been a week and I'm already discombobulated. I missed you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a beautiful life. And if you're not, I pray that beauty comes back into your life. So let's get this prayer underway. My beloved Source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this video, this channel. I ask that you support them in finding their own inner sun. You've asked us to shine our light out into this world of dualistic nature, where it is so dark and damp and frustrating sometimes, and it just doesn't make sense to so many of us that are a bright light why people can be so low vibrational, why people can be so hurtful and hateful and put us in a place of competition and put us in a place of being backed into the wall or treat us like we don't even exist. When you know at the end of the day, all they're doing is following us to see what it is that we are involved in. So I ask that you help us to shine this light no matter what is going on in the 3D realm. You were talking about energy today, and this is all about us finding our true energy. You may ask, or you may tell us what it is that we do and how we affect others, but in truth, how can we affect ourselves deeper? How can we believe in ourselves more? And how can we open our hearts, not to the world, but to the truth that is waiting to be expressed from deep within the recess of our soul? Beloved Source, I ask that we all become the channels of your divine energy, because that's truly what feeds our inner light. And if there are those on here that are questioning how to do that, I ask that you take us all by the hand and guide us home to you, home to love, and home to truth. As these words are spoken unto this space, so shall they be. Amen. Aho, Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I felt that in my heart. I never know what's going to be said on the prayers, so it's always just a channel when it comes through, and sometimes it just leaves me in awe and shock. even when I talk to Source by myself. It's just always kind of like never knowing what's coming out. And then when it comes out, I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I talked to you, Source. So for pile number 1, we do have this beautiful rock. I'm not sure what exactly this is. I do feel like there's some sort of tale behind it. I found it near a beach next to a river. Okay, and for pile number 2, we do have this beautiful rock. I also found this near the river. It had been corroded and it's all smooth. Okay. And for pile 3, we have this rock to choose from. This one I found near mine. Yes, my rocks have stories. Okay. And I think we'll do the stickers at the end of the reading and see what comes through. So I'll put those up here. Okay. All right. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And whichever one you are drawn to, that should be the reading for you. And with that being said, I will see you over on your perspective pile. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, or if you were drawn to this rock, this is going to be your reading on how does your energy affect others. We're going to be raw and real today. So if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Remember, this is how it affects others, not the truth of who you are, just how others react to your shine, which is a projection of how they're feeling within. Remember that. So it can be all over the place. They are general readings, so take what resonates and leave what does not, knowing that as you interact with the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing, it does allow me an opportunity to directly connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. And also, if you're interested in a personal reading, my email will be found down below in the description box. Please send me an email because I do only have a certain amount of spots open each week. They do fill up rather quickly. However, I will get you out further information and I will let you know how many spaces are available. It is first come, first serve. And also, if you guys would like to follow me on over to my podcast at Scatter Love Radio, you will find that linked below in the description box as well. So let's go ahead and move into it and find out how your energy pile number 1 affects others. Source, how does pile number 1's energy affect others? What can you tell us, Source? How does pile number 1's energy affect others? How does pile number 1's energy affect others, Source? Okay, so we have 12th house, Cancer energy, and Saturn. Ooh, sorry, I have an itch on my eye. Give me just a second. My eye is tripping out here. You are a healer of healers. You nurture others in a very spiritual way without realizing. Let me turn the block over. You can see my dog. These were on the floor. I shouldn't have left them on the floor. These are my yoga blocks. And she had a toy next to it. And she stuck her nail into it. And yeah, I still use them. It's cool. They're still loved. Yeah, you're a healer on a very spiritual level, on a very nurturing level. You're a very understanding individual. And what ends up happening is because of that love, it's something that so many people do not get to experience in reality. Okay? And what happens, pile 1, is that you force them to heal aspects of themselves that they do not want to deal with. These are deep, dark secrets that they have buried within the recess of who they are. And when you come around, that stuff gets immediately pulled into consciousness. It's like, you know, when you see like have you ever seen on TV when they do like ayahuasca and stuff like that? This is just on TV. I'm not saying this is exactly how it is. I personally have never done ayahuasca. But what I'm saying is like they'll show it on TV sometimes and they'll show how like all of a sudden they're like on this journey and like all these things are getting drawn up. That's how it is when they meet you. It's almost like that they don't need to go and get help from these other people or from this drug to draw that up. That's really what you're there to do. So you're a very deep, deep heart healer is what I'm hearing, and a spiritual healer. And it's tough. And people have a tendency to judge you because of that, like very harshly. Or they try to do very little with you because it's scary, right? When you're in their energy, you affect them in a lot of different ways. But this healing overall is something that really brings them into a space of, like, I can't deal with this. I'm not ready to deal with this. I don't think I can do this. And it puts a lot of stress on you. And I feel like the reason that it puts a lot of stress on you is because you're absorbing the stress that they're experiencing. So you may be somewhat of a loner or a hermit or someone who's very introverted or withdrawn. You may be somebody who is very disciplined in your craft, whatever that is, because your craft has brought you solace away from the judgment and the harshness of the world, right? And so you have to nurture yourself in a very, very deep way in order for you to deal with people. So like, even when you just go to the store, like you may have to sit down and pray before you go to the store, or meditate, or center yourself through breathing. Like I could see you out in the car before you ever even go in, and you're just like breathing and maybe listening to your favorite song. And it's like, you'll be the one that sits in your car for an additional 15 minutes, you know, and that may be an exaggeration, but that's what they're showing me here, just to get yourself ready to go in and deal with all these people, because it's stressful for you. But what you're not yet seeing in this way is that stress is all because you bring up these deep, dark secrets from them. It's like things that they said they would never, ever, ever face. Things that they said they would never deal with again. Things that they said they would never think about again. And you just walk in and you can just say hi, and your energy is so powerful that it draws up all that. For some reason, it's not even a mirror. This is not even a mirror of anything. It's just basically you come in and your energy is so powerful that it goes in like a hand and it reaches in and it grabs out all that stuff. And Source is like, oh yeah, remember all that stuff that you said you didn't want to deal with? Well, pile one's here and they're going to make you face it whether you want to or not. And so you may have gotten a lot of different reactions from people. You may have gotten a lot of good reactions from people, like people who feel relieved, right? And you may have also gotten a lot of bad reactions from people, like people who are very like, I don't want anything to do with you. You're an awful person. And you're like, I'm not. Like, I'm a good person. I'm a kind person. Like, I love deeply. I feel deeply. Like, I want to be with people. And that's why. It's just, look, I split the deck and we have death coming out, or the nameless card, or 13. It's like people just can't handle it. It's like you're the Grim Reaper of soul trauma. Okay? I'm trying to make a joke out of it, but that's really what came through. That's why I laugh sometimes. I don't know if you're new on my channel, but you know, sometimes I laugh because the channel message will come through and it just kind of takes me by surprise too. Like, oh, okay, that's where we're going with that. Okay, cool. So, Source, how does pile one's energy affect others? What can you tell us? Yeah, you just really help others transform on a deeper level when they're not ready to. And so you may get a lot of, like, I just hear cold comments, like people who are cold, or people who just like, hey, let's hang out. But then when you try to hang out with them, they just kind of disappear. Or they don't ever want to hang out with you, because it's like, they're saying it as a courtesy, right? Like that's all they're doing. It's just the human thing to be courteous. And really at the end of the day, they don't want to hang out with you in truth, because it's just scary. It's like you're so much much higher than they are on the vibrational scale. And as we know, in vibrational energy, you either vibe up or you vibe out. And most people, they'll start to vibe up, but when you get to a point, you get very uncomfortable, right? You get very, very, very uncomfortable. And that is where people just kind of bounce out because they're not ready to deal with that. Yeah, they want to control situations. Look at this. You could have a lot of failed relationships, whether that's love interests or friendships in your life, but you could have a lot of failed relationships because this is almost like a trophy bit here. Like people want to bounce in and say, oh, I had an entanglement with pile number one, whatever that is. I partied with them. I doinked around with them. I bumped pee-pees with them. Whatever it is that comes through, it's like they say that they want to do this and they feel like, oh, because I'm with them or because I had access to them, then I'm going to get good fortune. But in truth, it brings them into this place of having to face the illusions that they've experienced in their life. It's like they feel like they're moving forward, but then the minute that you leave, because eventually you have to leave their energy, right? They're left with facing this darkness within. Yeah. Yeah, that makes so much sense. A lot. Look at this. Look at this. They have a problem because they feel like you're an authoritative figure. They feel like you're a natural born leader, that you're someone who will lead the masses. And that already brings up a lot of internal struggle because a lot of people feel like they want to covet power, right? Like they want to covet power like that, but no one in truth is really ready for that until you're ready. And I feel like this is something that for you has been both a curse and a blessing. It's something that has been deeply unsettling for you, but there have been times when it has been so rewarding and you're like, okay, this is beautiful. Like I helped this person. It meant a lot. Like I actually had a friend for a little while because of this, and it felt like normal. It felt good. I felt good. But most of the time it just feels like it's just a huge burden to carry because it feels very lonely, right? That's what I'm hearing that song. One is the loneliest number there ever was. I don't know how it goes, otherwise I'd sing it. I really don't, but that's what I'm hearing right now. Is that two can be just as lonely as one. I feel like that's the thing. It's like it's a very solitary journey for you right now. That's not always going to be so. It's like being stuck in between the good and the bad, but it always feels bad. Going back and forth, stuck between a rock and a hard place. And this bouncing around is actually because you're absorbing others' energy. And that's why I'm saying, like, you're the one that's going to take extra time to protect yourself. And know that, pile one, as you ascend and you keep growing on your journey, what eventually happens is that it's easy to ground yourself within a matter of seconds, and you're not going to feel like you have to protect yourself so much from everybody's energies, especially if you're a highly acute empath, because you'll eventually, that's my air conditioner, by the way, because you'll eventually get to this place where you're like, can separate, okay, that's not my energy, this is my energy. And when you're able to separate the two, you are going to be able to fluidly move through life, giving your gift without carrying the burden of everyone else, which is what it feels like is happening right now. You could have dealt with a parent who felt like they were the have-all, be-all, end-all. Not necessarily narcissistic, but they felt like no one had skills like they did, or they were a Jack or a Jill of all trades. And because of that, they felt like they deserved more than they were getting, but they never did anything to go and get it. And so there's this weight on you that's feeling like you don't want to shine because you're like, have this misconception from a parental figure, someone who is a boss or someone who is maybe a mentor in your life, that if you have all these skills that no one's going to appreciate it anyways, right? And right now you may not be around people who appreciate it because you bring up so much conflict within them. And again, it's just your design. It's not a personal thing. This is literally you being a channel for Source. And when you walk around someone, it's like Source reaches out energetically and goes like this in their soul and says, okay, look, we have to deal with this, right? Like, and that's not you. You're just the channel, right? You just by this design. And it's caused a lot of upset, but there's also this belief that you'll never be greater than you are that's coming through here because of what you dealt with some sort of mentor in your life, believing that they should have been much higher status than they were, but it was all just a mask that they were wearing. This was all just a ploy to appear much greater than they were. This very emotional ego saying, like, if I appear bigger than I am, then I won't get so hurt in life. And that's why you've dealt with a lot of people who have taken you for granted or taken you to the ringer and back. Like, literally, like, people who've taken so much from you and given nothing. None of these energies have given, but this is how you leave people. So it's like, you know, I mean, it's nothing to be like, haha, finally I can say I got back at those people. That's not what this is. It's just to say that you're inducing healing on another level. And so when you leave, it's almost like a sense of relief, and that's why a lot of people don't reach back out to you. But there is people out there who are meant to be in your life for the long haul. So don't feel too upset about it now. You're just coming into, I feel like many of you are coming into a realization of this healing technique that you have. It's not even a technique, it's a gift. It's literally a gift. Like, this is your gift. You're meant to be a healer, a deep healer. Okay, and as you wander, you'll find new ways to center that healing in a way that will make you feel more fulfilled. But right now it does feel like you are being jolted back and forth between a rock and a hard place, because you're absorbing a lot of the way that people are feeling when you're around them. Like, people, they're drawn to you, right? They're drawn to you, but at the same time they don't want to talk to you because there's this fear of how much is going to be exposed. They also notice that you do see beyond the masks because you do have the gift of discernment. You do have the gift of psychic abilities as well. Right? Everybody's psychic abilities are different, so don't try to compare yours to another person's. That just leads you down a rabbit hole of disaster, right? But just remember, it's like up to you to learn how to develop those gifts on your own. So let's get some clarifiers out here. We're gonna go back to some of my old good old cards. I'll bring out some of the others later, but I need to get back in touch with these cards after everything that's happened. So may you please have some clarifiers here, Source. Thank you. May you please have some clarifying cards for pile number 1, Source. What else can you tell us about how pile 1's energy affects others? Okay. No, this way. They said the other way. Okay, I got you. Yeah. There's like this sense of unfairness that's coming through because you're so kind and loving and caring. And again, this ability to have a psychic, intuitive knowing, like you just see beyond what's really there. And it's your gift. Like, you're able to tap into psychic, energetic energy, right? It's like digging deep. You may know things about people that they've never told you, and they're like, how does pile 1 know this? And you can't really just sit down and be like, oh, because I know. Like they're gonna be like, what, are you stalking me or something? Like, they may have some things to say about it, and it's just because you just are given that gift of understanding, understanding of what's happening, claircognizance, right? Clear knowing. Yeah, and it does cause a lot of inner conflict. It causes a lot of conflict with you and people, too. I feel like you may have had friends just bounce out on you and you never knew why, or you had lovers who bounced out on you and you didn't know why, or even family, anybody. It could be classmates, it could be coworkers, it could be anybody. Like, you might have been really close for a while, and then all of a sudden it just dissipated, and you're like, what happened? I never changed. No, you didn't change. It's just that they couldn't handle having to face their demons all the time in the face of your bright light, because you shed a light on their darkness. Yeah. Let's get these out. Let's see what happens. Look, I can't The nameless card had to make an appearance. Look at all this. Look at all of this. Like, they feel like when you're around them that they see that they're not giving, and they're also self-sabotaging. And look, if you look at this, the scythe here, he's swinging the scythe towards this Ace of Wands. That's where all their anxiety derives from, is the fact that, okay, say you're very disciplined, right? We did say that. You're very disciplined with your craft. Say that you're open about that, right? And you, oh, you know, I pray every day, or I meditate every day, or I work out every day, or I, you know, this is my routine, and they're aware of your routine. It sheds a light on their lack, what they're not doing, and they see how they're self-sabotaging themselves, okay, which is simple, right? But what's not so simple is that you force them to look at the root of that issue. Not just that, hey, I'm self-sabotaging, but I'm self-sabotaging because when I was a child, I was also dealing with an overbearing or harsh parent who basically made me feel that I was never worthy of anything, no matter what I did, what I tried. I couldn't finish anything because when I did finish something, it was just brushed under. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And they're like, oh my gosh, I can't. I gotta get out of here. I can't deal with this. I can't handle this. But the transformation is real. Right? There's this lack of giving. It's like you're shedding a light on how little they're giving in life, but how much they're expecting from others. And that expectation leaves them in a place of understanding that they're never going to get what they want if they never put in the effort. And so you're someone who comes in showing an effort, showing that you can be present with life in general, just present. And that sheds a light on how much they're stuck in either the past or in worry of the future or in fear of which one it is, okay? But they're so focused on one thing that they're not looking at the gift that Source has brought. And they're so sure of themselves. Oh, I'm sure I'm right. I'm sure pile one's wrong, until the truth of the situation gets brought to the head. There's no turning back, right? We cannot turn back from that, because it's not going to happen. Let's get some oracles out on it for pile one, Source. Thank you. Look, didn't I say you're someone who's very introverted, and we had Island Solitude come out? Someone who's kind of a loner. It feels like that. Like, I feel that energy. Like, you're a bit of a loner. You're not someone who necessarily engages with a lot of individuals. You may be open and extroverted when needed, but it's not something that you generally rely on. You don't network in that way. You probably don't network a whole lot, actually. You just kind of sit back and let people come to you, because it's exhausting for you to do that. It's exhausting for you to get involved with people who don't have your best interest at heart. Thank you, Source. Yeah, and I feel like this is something you do for work, or this is what you deal with a lot at work, or wherever you're putting in effort. School, work, university. You know, you could be a college professor. I just heard, that was so random, but it just came through. This is something that you do, and you're constantly going to, and it's like you're always kind of put in this position. And I feel like maybe you've been put in this position so many times that you've had to leave a lot of situations yourself. It's like maybe you had a good job and you had to walk away from a good job because of the discomfort that was so palpable, right? Like, it was just so thick, like tension you could cut with a knife. And it's like too much. It feels too much for you to handle, right? Because you're such a deep empath. Like, you're, again, I keep getting that acute empath. And because you're an acute empath, dealing with carrying the burden of others' feelings becomes far too much for you. And so you may bounce around from job to job to job, from home to home to home, from school to school to school. You see what I'm saying? Like, it feels like there's a lot of movement in your life, and not so much stability because of this situation. So not only have you affected others' energy so much, but that effect that you've had on others has affected you deeply. It has affected you deeply in your life. And like I said, I feel like why they want me to mention what I did in the beginning, that you will come to a point on your ascension journey where you will understand how to separate, oh my gosh, I'm suddenly feeling angry and upset and disconnected. And you're going to say, wait a minute, that's not my energy. And you're going to be able to separate the line. You're basically going to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, that's your energy over there. I'm going to let you deal with that, because I can't carry this. That's not mine to carry. And then you're going to be able to come right back into a place of centered peace. Okay, so don't lose hope with that. It does come. Look, we have Mars coming out on the bottom with move forward and defend self. Like, this is exactly what I was saying, like that constant movement, like you're always on the go, like constantly going around and feeling like you have to do that to stay in a space of self-defense. How exhausting. Like, I'm sorry if that resonates with you. Leave an orange heart down below in the comments and say, I claim my inner stability, right? Because that's the thing. It's like once you're stable within and you can stand firm in the truth of who you are, you won't need to do this anymore. People will naturally move away from you, as you've already experienced many, many times. Okay, let's put that there. Courage is fear that has said its prayers, with number 22 coming through here. Yeah, so keep saying your prayers. Keep doing your due diligence. Like, keep showing up for yourself, okay? It's very imperative on your journey. Okay, I feel like that's everything. Yeah, Gaia, nurturing. Yeah, this Cancerian energy coming through once again. Like, you're a very nurturing person. You're a very loving person. You're a kind and gentle person. But sometimes you have a tendency to give that away so much that people will drain you, and that affects them too, right? Because it's that enabling energy. And so this is saying to come back and nurture yourself the way you nurture others. Give that back to yourself, so that way that you're not always running on empty. Filling up your own cup is so important here. But you affect others' energies. That's why people are so drawn to you, because that's like what they see, the doorway to love, right? When they see you, that's what they see. It's like the doorway to love. Like, oh my gosh, if I meet pile one, like, I'm going to actually know what love is. And that's the truth. They learn what love is, but love is not anything like what we were taught it was, right? And you're an embodiment of that, which is a beautiful thing. Look, number 43, we have snake with creations. I feel like you've dealt with a lot of devious people, but look at this gold heart in the middle. I cannot make this up. You have a beautiful heart. You have a beautiful soul. You offer so much to the world. You help others grow without even trying. Constantly shedding skin, constantly coming into this place of self-reflection, which is very scary. If you've been there, you know, right? You know, self-reflection is probably the scariest thing that we can attempt on the spiritual journey, because it means we have to take accountability for the things that we've never taken accountability for. And then not feel like we're wrong, right? And not feel like we did something terrible. And that's what it feels like here. It's like you're in this place of shining your heart out into the world, and remember to stay rooted. But look, the roots are floating above the ground here. It's important for you to bring yourself and root yourself back into the 3D realm while you reach your branches high into the sky. Remember, you're already connected in a very beautiful and sound way, but don't let yourself get so caught up in how others feel about you. You already have a heart of gold. You have something so gorgeous to offer, and that's what's coming through. But again, when they see you, they're like, oh, with pile one, that's the doorway to love. We have that here too. We have Cardinal coming out with instigation, bravery, and a pioneering spirit. You are a way shower, pile one. You are going to set the flame for some group of people across the world. You're here to help others, okay? And that may feel like a lot, but you're here to show them what it means to be yourself and to be an embodiment of unconditional love. You're not here to judge. You're like that. I feel like even when people do you wrong, like that's why you draw away into solitude, because it's just like wondering why. Why can't people just be loving? Why can't people just be kind? Why can't people just be caring? Like, why can't people just understand? But it's so much deeper than that. It's because you're here to help show them that. You're here to help instigate that, to help integrate that into the world. So we have number 13. Source whispers to us constantly to do better, to be better. When we resist, we choke on those whispers with pride. It stops speaking to us, not because our pride silenced it. No, it's because we have proven that we will not listen. Like, this is exactly what I was saying. Source uses you as a channel to destroy the pride within others. Right? It's like your physical embodiment of what Source needs in order to affect others on a deep soul level. And that's the thing. It's like, if they're too proud and they don't want to heal with it, that's why they leave. They don't want to stick around you, because again, it's just their emotional ego coming through the pride. Like, I can't deal with this. I'm better than this. I don't need to heal. I'll never have to heal in my life. You know, that's someone who's very stubborn and feels like the rules don't apply to them. Well, we understand the spiritual laws are set in place, and no matter who you are, no one can run away from the spiritual laws of nature. They're set, and the tide is true for every living, breathing creature, humans alike, on the earth. They're universal laws. It's not, oh, the law of the tree, and the law of the bug, and the law of the bird, and the law of the fish, and the amphibians, and the reptiles, and then the humans. No, it's universal, all-encompassing, right? And we have number 6. Take 10 seconds before you take a leap. So whenever you're getting overwhelmed by those emotions that people are pouring into you, because it is overwhelming, because you're a deep empath, remember to take a few seconds and to say, is this my energy or is this someone else's energy? And it's interesting, I wasn't going to mention it, but there is a practice that you can do with candles or flame. And it's funny because this came up, it's a match and the flame here. And just saying, okay, when it's like a meditation. You meditate on the flame and you keep staring at it. You keep staring at it for a long time. Let the train go by. Okay, and when you stare at the flame, you separate yourself from the flame. You say, okay, that's the flame and this is me. It sounds easy to do, but as an empath, it is very easy to become one with everything. I am the tree. I am the grass. I am the birds and the bees. I am the animals around me. I am the building around me. It's all of that, right? Because we are learning on the spiritual journey that we are all one. But in order for us to know better about ourselves, we must separate ourselves from the flame. And when you learn to separate yourself from the flame, then you begin to understand the depth of your own internal emotions. Now, I'm going to check these off camera to make sure they are camera appropriate, and then I don't have to cover them up. So let's see, what do we got? Okay, so we have I am. This is the first one. Beautiful. Let's see what the second one is. Yeah, okay, we're good. With open center. Look at this, the heart chakra. Yeah, you're very rooted in your heart chakra. So let me grab the book. See what we got going on here. Dun, 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 dun. These are all alphabetized. Oh, I've passed it. Okay. Okay, this one is the longest one. Let's hold that up. This feels like lungs to me. Again, like the heart chakra, right? So it says, in this holographic reality, we function like mirrors. I mirror you and you mirror me. I look into my mirror. I look at you. I look at myself. I can clearly see myself when I observe you. The outside acts as a mirror for my mind, where I see different qualities of my own essence, of my most primitive self reflected. Wasn't I saying that? Like, you draw out the deepest, darkest recesses of someone, right? The primitive self, the things that they've experienced. I grew up in a fragmented society that made me believe in not being enough, not being valuable, not being capable. I often believed that I had a broken wing. This aspect of society is also my mirror, a very useful one, which can encourage me to take care of myself in harmful situations. That separation we're talking about. It makes me appreciate life and see it from another perspective. It gives me an opportunity to educate and expand my vision of reality. I now see that not being is an illusion, is a veil based on a mistaken belief system and a projection of inherited fears. I pause and look at you again. I look at myself again, seeing a spectrum of light and shadow. Didn't I say you shine the light on their darkness? I assimilate the information received and I weigh it up. When I look at myself through harsh, closed, or authoritative mirrors, I have the opportunity to review my own violence, to set limits, to express myself, and to let go as necessary. I always deserve love. When I connect with sweeter, more loving, and compassionate mirrors, I am filled with peace, connection to life, and to my purpose, because our humanity is in essence pure love, and that is one of the most beautiful reflections. I am. The act of observing says more about the observer than what is observed. Silence. I rest in silence. Silence reveals the truth. From the silence, the answers spring. I am able to look beyond the story I've told myself and observe my current situation clearly. Today I grow and heal with love. And this feels like, again, it's like I am is connection to source, right? Is connection to our highest light. And I feel like that's exactly what you do. You open people up to their higher connections, their higher selves. And it's scary when you've never, ever encountered your higher self, that higher light, or true unconditional love. That's scary because it means that you're loved no matter what you do. But also at the same time, if you do something that's kind of questionable, being loved means that I can love you from afar and I don't need to have you in my life. When so many people are so used to conditional love, I'll only show you love if, but that means that I'll keep you around because I'm afraid of abandonment. Open center. I am open to receive and I am open to give. I learn to give and receive in perfect balance. A balance in my heart's region means a strong immune system. It is harmony in my relationships. So with awareness, I oxygenate and nourish my blood, my organs, tissues, and cells. I thank my vital functions. I breathe the air element into me and I open up to unconditional love. Breathe. I change the vibration of my blood and waters with the help of the air element. I follow my own breath consciously. My body dilates and becomes a lighter vessel. I allow myself to love and to be loved. So exactly, like you're opening up others to love, which is what we've talked about this whole time. It's come out so prevalent in your reading here, front and center. So that is how your energy affects others. And remember that separating yourself from others will absolutely help you come into a balanced state. If this resonated with you, make sure you leave a thumbs up down below, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it there and get on out of here. I do just want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this beautiful message. Until next time, Pile 1, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow humans. If you were drawn to these two cards while I was shuffling, or if you were drawn to this rock, this is going to be a reading on how does your energy affect others. Now, I will be getting a read on your energy and some things that you may have gone through that has affected your energy over time, and we will check these out at the end, also how it does affect others. So pile 1 was pretty incredible. I have no doubt that each one of these piles will be extremely different and incredible each in their own. Okay, what do I want to say? First and foremost, this is one of my first readings back after everything that has happened. If you're wondering what that is, you'll find that in the community tab. So I do ask that you stay open-minded on these readings as they are general. So take what resonates and leave what does not, knowing that as you interact with the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing, it does allow me an opportunity to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. If you are interested in a personal reading, you will find my email link down below in the description box where you can shoot me an email and I will let you know how many spaces are still available for the week, as I do have only a certain amount. They do fill up quickly. I will also get you out further information as well. And if you are interested, make sure you guys check out the link down below in the description box where you can follow me on over to Scatter Love Radio, my podcast. I think that's everything that we need to get into. we will go ahead and ask the dice first, and then I am going back to my original tarot cards in this reading. I feel like I've been too long away from them, and so they'll always be true to my heart. I need to bring them back. So let's get into it. Source for pile number 2. How does their energy affect other people? Source, how does pile number 2's energy affect others? How does pile number 2's energy affect others? Source. Okay, and before I get into this, there's a beautiful red cardinal outside taking a bath right next to where I'm at. Just chilling. He's been here for a few minutes already. I thought he was going to fly away, but he's bathing in the puddle of water that's right here, as birds often do. So cardinals may mean something to you, pile 2. They are also a symbol as a message from a loved one in heaven. So I feel like someone is reaching out. I did hear grandfather came through so strong right now. So someone's grandfather is coming through to say hi. And yeah, I don't want to get too far off of the topic, but that is something that's coming through. And I will soon do a hello from heaven because it's been a while since I've done those. So we've got first house, Cancer energy, and Mercury. How does your energy affect others? They want to get into competition with you. Oy. It's like to see who's better. Like, that's what this feels like. Ugh. Sorry, I just... Ugh. When people really think like, oh my gosh, somebody's energy... You know, I feel like I'm guilty of this too, especially when I was younger. I was always like, oh, everybody's better than me. Like, if only I were just like them. I feel like that's the type of energy that people get when they're around you. So, like, it's like, because you're authentic and you're very true to yourself and you're very honest with yourself, I feel like the main thing here is that you are honest with yourself, which aids in your authenticity. If something feels wrong, you may have a discussion with yourself about it. This seems odd, right? Because a lot of people are, you talk to yourself, you must be crazy. But some of the smartest people on the face of the planet have beautiful conversations with themselves. And I feel like you're one of those people who you'll have conversations with yourself. I'm not talking about arguments. I'm talking about sheer honesty. Like, hey, I don't want to do this because I feel like this, this, and this. And then you'll be like, okay, well, if we did that, so what do you think the outcome would be? And it's like this back and forth where you're going over all aspects and all angles of it. And you're able to be honest in your discernment. And when you make a decision, your decision is sound based on your own reasoning and logic and how you feel. Wow, I've got the hiccups. How you feel about it. And it's because of this that you are very, very authentic. You also stand out above the crowd. Even if I have to shout out loud, tonight is mine is the only face you'll see. You're gonna stand out so you notice me. Right? Like, that's it. You stand out. You stand out. Okay? Yes, I know that song. That's what was coming through though. The song, it was like true. Because you stand out above everyone else. Because of this. Just because you're very honest with yourself and how you feel about things. And that really irks some people, okay? Like, they get really frustrated, and so they may make things a competition with you. So an example of that would be, like, say you're a very kind and compassionate person, and you may be just explaining to someone something that you did recently. And, okay, so I'm getting this, like, maybe you help the homeless. Like, maybe you go and you volunteer at a soup kitchen, right? This was very, very specific, but it is just an example. So take it as it resonates. But say you go and volunteer at a soup kitchen, and it's something that you really enjoyed, and you met someone there that you just really adore, and you're like, they're so amazing. Like, it's just so weird to think that they're homeless, and, you know, I pray for them every night, and I just want them to do better in life because they're such an incredible person. And, you know, if I ever get into a position where I can, I will help them because I just really care about this person. They become like family to me. And, you know, like, they just had a really rough go at it. And either you or someone, like, or either the person you were telling or someone else hears this story, and then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, well, that's like when I did this or when I did that, and then this happened, and I actually did help them, but you know what? And it's like they went and they go on to this whole thing, and you're just like, whoa, Hold on, I was literally just explaining something about myself. Like, I'm not trying to get into it with anybody. I'm not trying to say I'm better. I'm not trying to do that. But it's like people automatically think that it needs to be a competition with you, especially with this Mercury and this first house here. This feels like it, and it's like verbal competition, right? This is what this makes me feel like, verbal competition. Yeah. And it's hard for people to receive the fact that you're just literally telling a story. Like, that's all you're doing. You're not trying to play the game of what life has turned into. Like, it's all about me. It's all about my shine. It's all about how I appear. It's all about this. It's like, no, like, you're genuinely concerned about this person that you were talking about. And it was like really trying to, it's almost like bouncing ideas off of people, but not bouncing ideas off of people. It's just like hearing it out loud so that you can find a truth for yourself. And that brings up a lot of discord in others. And so they may find themselves in competition with you, or you may find yourself in competition with people that you didn't even realize existed. Right? Or like, say you try something new and then suddenly like 10 people that barely know you, like acquaintance status, right? Like, they barely know you. All of a sudden are all doing the same thing. Right? Why do I hear it hurling? I'm not even joking. That's what came up. Like, maybe you started hurling. And then all of a sudden, like, all these people, they started hurling too. And you're like, what the heck is going on here? Right? It's because of that competitive nature. I know we don't have any Mars energy here, but that just, the feeling that's coming from this is so overwhelming. And there's like this passive aggressive energy that's underlying it here. It's like, oh, I have to do better than pile 2. If I don't do better than pile 2, then there's something inherently wrong with me. Like, they think that if they compare to you, that they'll have everything they need in life. Like, just some people. That's how your energy affects them, though. Like, and it just comes from you learning. Right? You learned along the way how to be honest with yourself. You learned how to be open with yourself and to go based on how you feel. Like, it's like, if I don't feel good about this, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to feel bad later. Why should you do something that you don't feel good about or feel forced into? You're not a yes person. You're a decisive person, and that kind of brings up a lot of issues with some people. And some people do think that it's you trying to appear better than them, but it's not, right? When you're authentic, it raises a whole heap of emotions from other people, right? And remember, this is not who you truly are. It's their feelings being projected here and how they're feeling, right? Like, how does it affect them? Well, it's their feelings. That's how it's going to affect them, no matter how you look at it. Remember, it's not the truth of how you are. But you personally are someone who's very strong in how you approach life. And because of that, you could have been a warrior in a past life. And that in itself creates a lot of competition. So let's get some cards out on it. Source, how does pile 2's energy affect other people? How does pile 2's energy affect others? Okay, they want this one. Thank you. Source, how does pile 2's energy affect others? Well, thank you. How does pile 2's energy affect others? Source, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Alright, yeah. It makes them want to be cruel. They may talk about you behind your back, but see, it's because they feel like they have to. They feel like they have to appear better than you because, like, these could be narcissists, but I don't feel like that's the whole of who you deal with. I feel like you're just dealing with normal people who don't do things. They do what other normal people do, and that's be lazy, and you're not. You're just constantly paying attention to yourself. Like, you're not, oh my goodness, sorry, my dog. I don't know why she's coughing today like that. She's going to go, don't worry, she's getting a checkup at the beginning of the week. We can't go over the weekend, so she's getting a checkup at the beginning of the week. She will probably already be checked up by the time this posts. But yeah, they feel like they have to. Like, they feel like they have to appear better than you because XYZ. You could insert any word there and it would probably be correct for a ton of people, right? They don't feel like they're good enough. They don't feel like they are enough. They don't feel like they can provide enough. They don't feel like they are talented enough, skilled enough, whatever it is. It's like there's a lot of negativity that surrounds it. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of internal anger that's coming through. And at the same time, when you're around them, you also dredge up, let's talk about it. You dredge up how cold they are to themselves, how ruthless they are to themselves. And so instead of dealing with that and acknowledging that, they want to project that onto you, and they feel like, oh, pile 2 is the one that's making me feel. But you're really not. Yeah. What did I say? Oh my gosh, this came through. Yeah, we've got the 8 of Swords. Look, yeah. Yeah, you're very confident about yourself. You're someone who's very sound in who you are. And the thing is here is like, look, it's like there's this energy of wanting to have complete control over you by doing everything that you're doing. It's almost like in hopes of finding out what you're doing in a very inadvertent way, that they can control how you approach the next aspects of your life. But look, like, you're already defended, you're already doing your thing, you're taking care, you got one foot in the past, knowing your lessons you've learned, and you're comfortable with how the future is coming. You're like, I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to stay right here and do my thing, take action when necessary. What they don't realize is that you've taken a step back. So whereas maybe they were able to see everything that you were doing before, like they were keeping tabs on you with this 5 of Cups in the reverse, right? This is all about nosiness, unwanted intrusions, people who can't keep away because they want to know what your business is, because it's making them feel all sorts of weird ways. You're becoming successful and they're feeling all weird about it. You know, and now we have the 8 of Swords here in the reverse, talking about deep, deep, deep control. Like, I want to control the issue. I want to have utter control. It's interesting because the 8 of Swords and the 8 of Wands are very, very similar cards in the Tarot Marseille, right? They're both about control. They're both about anxiety. They're differences, right? You have control in an action way and anxiety in an action way. Then here you have the Swords, which is control in a mental way, trying to play a mental game to get control, trying to play with your thoughts, your emotions, how you feel about yourself, okay? And anxiety, which is holding them hostage within their mind, right? Feeling so small. If I grow beyond where I've already grown, I'm going to get cut. It's going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to have to deal with suffering. So instead of me dealing with suffering, how can I control pile 2 to have them deal with the suffering so that I don't have to grow? How can I bring their light down? How can I bring their shine down? Right? So when we're dealing with Swords, we're dealing about all our mental aspects, like where we're at in our mind, our thoughts, our psyche. Cups are all about our emotions, right? So when we're dealing with nosiness, this is like the neighbor down the street that tries to figure out what everybody's doing so they can call the HOA, so that they can call the cops, so that they can call and make sure that someone knows that Susie, 2 houses over, didn't cut their hedge the way that they were supposed to. It's 3 inches too tall, and we need someone out here to give Susie a ticket because that's just not right. Okay, these are the Karens of the world. Okay, I'm not trying to be like that, but that's really what it is. And if we're talking about that, that's like, these are people who just want to find out what it is that you're doing so that they can do it too, in hopes that you'll just stop doing it. Because if everybody's doing it, then what fun is it? But the truth is, it doesn't matter, because they're never really good at it anyways, because they're not supposed to do it, right? But you have a knack for picking up things. You have a knack for doing things. You're naturally good. You naturally have talent. You're naturally skilled. And you've learned this. And it's like you're learning, what is it? Again, that conversation with yourself. What is it that makes me feel good that I want to take action on? And so you're just calm, cool, and collected over here doing your thing and doing what feels good for you. While everyone else is worried about, how do I create this life that pile 2 has? Like, how do I create this in my own life? Like, how do I have what pile 2 has? And that's the truth of it. It's like when you're doing things that you're not meant to be doing, no matter how hard you try, it's never going to work out. And I'm sure you've experienced that, pile 2. Or you along the way have probably gotten involved with things that you weren't meant to get involved in, and it didn't work out, right? That's a part of our learning. It's a part of this process. It's part of understanding what this 3D realm is. And part of that duality that we live in is learning how to be so okay with who we are and what it is that we're doing. Okay, the 5 of coins made an appearance. The 5 of swords made an appearance while I'm shuffling. And now the 5 of wands. All the 5s came out. So you may see 5, 5, 5 a lot, or 4 5s together a lot. I can't make... That's so weird. Okay, this wants to be over here. I feel like it wants to clarify this card. Can you please have some clarifiers here, Source? For pile 2. Thank you. That wants to be there. And what else, Source? What else can you tell us for pile number 2 here? It's another clarifier here. Yeah. Okay, the Ace of Cups. It does want to come out in the upright. We'll put it here. We'll see what's going on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, we have the Emperor in the reverse. So you could be dealing with some narcissistic people. Definitely, like, look at all these people that you're dealing with. People who don't have anything to give. I feel like you are the Empress being represented here. Okay, but you're dealing with, see, again, all behind them. And the people who are looking at you don't even compare. Right? They don't even compare. All they're trying to do is figure out, how can I get a material manifestation like what pile 2 has? And you're just over here doing your thing and worrying about you, worrying about your connection, worrying about, you know, your life and what's worthy of your time. Everyone else is trying to be a front runner here in front of you, trying to get out ahead of the game. They're trying to manipulate. They're trying to get you emotionally disconnected. They're trying to help, like, get you off of this path of being your own hero, and none of it's working. None of it's working. And so your energy puts them all in their own, like, it shows people's true colors. Like, really, if I had to put it in one sentence, that's what it would be. Your energy forces others to show their true color. Look, we have the Star coming out representing you. Yeah, you stand out. Look at this. Self-sabotage over the Queen of Swords in the reverse. All these people don't realize that they're only sabotaging their own journey. Like, you're still a kind person, but you know, the beautiful thing about the Ace of Cups is that it's all about self-love. This is the card of self-love, connection with divine source, connection with your creator, whatever you believe created you, that's your connection with that entity, okay, or that deity. The thing is that it's very personal. This is a very personal thing. It's a singular cup, but it has to do with being able to connect to something that is a higher power. And you worry about that. Look, it's coming out right in between these two is where it wanted to be. You're not concerned about how everyone else is. In fact, I feel like all this energy has ever done is made you draw away from just how much you give to others, right? Maybe you were very open about your journey. You're very open about what it is that you got involved in. And that's why. And then you started seeing people doing the same thing that you were doing, like almost identical if it wasn't identical, right? And you're over there intuitively like, I feel like they're copying me. And then there was probably points on your journey where you're like wondering, are they really copying me? Or am I just being, you know, arrogant? Or am I just being crazy? Or whatever it is. And then it's like happened so much. You're like, oh no, now I can honestly say they've been copying me. Like, I can honestly say that they're trying to be me. Like the yawn coming out. But all that did was help you draw back into understanding who you are on an emotional level, who you are in your heart, who you are with this connection with source, the universe, you know, God, with whoever it is, the gods, the goddesses. It doesn't matter. It's like this connection with whomever is leading your journey. This could be your higher self, your intuition, your guides, your angels, your spirit messengers, whatever it is. It's like that's all you're focused on now, and it's told you to go silent. Like, you see this cup, it may be overflowing, but it's closed off. It's closed off. And you standing out. Here's you standing out, being watched. They're watching you from afar. They're watching you like, oh, when is pile 2 going to give us just a hint as to what's going on in their life? That's the thing. I feel like you're not going to say anything until boom, you've blown up and you've got this glow up going on, and now you're standing out and you really are, you know, like that, the successful business. You become an influencer. You become an entrepreneur. Like when you actually drop the news is when you're going to be successful, and it all comes from that ability to be authentic to yourself. Forgetting everyone else. You're not worried about everyone else. You're focused on what you're building. You're focused on your emotional healing. And everyone else over here is getting in this place of self-sabotage. They're trying to sabotage you, and all they're doing is sabotaging themselves. Or it's like, oh, let me hurt pile 2, but not realizing that trying to hurt you is just hurting them. That's all it's doing. Well, that came out quick. Thank you, Source. That came out quick. It's like, this is the one. Right? Look at this. Okay, again, this is what I was saying. Look at this star right here in the middle. Look at how different it is from all these other stars. They're all trying to be you, but they can't, because the North Star is the North Star. Like, so it feels like you're in your North Node. That definitely does feel like something that's coming through here. You're very open and vulnerable with those who care about you, but you're not open and vulnerable with just anybody either. Like, you're just like, no, unless you care about me and you show that you care about me, then, you know, be on your way. Oh, happy day. Whatever that song is. Oh, happy day when Jesus was. When Jesus was. He washed my sins away. So maybe you got baptized recently. That's cool. Thank you. Right, and maybe you got baptized for whatever your culture considers baptism. It could be, you know, integration. It could be initiation. It could be, you know, doing the rituals or whatever it is. But that's what it feels like, right? That's what this feels like. Yeah, we have Uranus coming out on the bottom here with radically changing. Yeah, so there's definitely a huge change that's coming. Something that's changing. On the bottom of this one, we did have equality with Seahorse, number 14. See, again, this idea that they're watching you. And they're almost like, look, I feel like that's the Midas touch. They're driven by their greed. You know, like the like, shares, and subscribe thing. Like, okay, like, or what is it? The like, shares, and comments. And the like, shares, and subscribes. And this and this and that. You know, have you ever been on comments with people have commented and they go, oh my God, Mom, I'm famous, because people like their comment. And now all of a sudden they're famous because they got like 1,000 likes on their comment, you know. And I feel like you're not like that, but I feel like that's what these people are watching you. Like, they really feel like if they had the attention that you have on you, that they would be famous. But look at it, you're very innocent. You're very, very like childlike by nature, very pure. You're just looking for people to be on the same level as you. I don't blame you. Shoot, that's crazy sometimes. Look at this. Harmony, music, yeah. Maybe you are a musician, right? Maybe you are a musician, or maybe music has something to do with your journey, right? It helps calm you. It helps bring peace into your life. It's something that you use on a regular basis for yourself. But regardless, you're a very harmonious person. You bring a lot of harmony with you everywhere you go, which in a chaotic environment, when you introduce harmony, yes, it can bring harmony, but to people who are used to living in chaos, it also brings more destruction. And I feel like that's something that your energy does affect in others, because they're not used to that harmonious energy, and so they start causing a lot more destruction, which is where that competition comes from. Oh, pile 2 thinks they're better than everyone. And you're over there like, no, I don't think I'm better than anyone. I'm just trying to do my best for myself. Companionship, dog. Yeah, and this comes back. We have 41. So we had 1441 come out. Right, this is 41 and this is 14. So a mirroring number here, which is 5 and 5 once again. Amazing. We're going to leave this out like that because that's pretty profound when I was saying you had to see 5s, because all the 5s made themselves apparent while I was shuffling. But like I said just a minute ago, you're looking for someone that's on the same level as you, a companion. You're looking for someone who's going to understand where you're coming from. You will find it eventually. It could be a Sagittarius. I'm feeling like this could be a Sagittarius moon. That is the thing that's coming through here, okay? You could have Sagittarius very highly aspect in your chart. You could also have a lot of squares in your chart too. I don't know why that's coming through. It's kind of random. But this does make me feel like Sagittarian energy for some reason, right? But you do have a lot of darkness that you've gone through, and that's what people don't see, because they just see that you're standing out and people are liking you and people like respect you, and it's like you probably don't even care one iota what another person is doing. And because of that, people are naturally attracted to you. Look at this. Look at the waves. Okay, like that's what I was saying. Do you see the waves here? And then look at the tree branches. This all looks very chaotic. Like all around you, it's all chaotic. It's all chaotic. That's what I was saying. It's like you're harmonious, but people who don't understand what harmony and peace are, it's like they try to be more chaotic. It's like they're just trying to even out what they've always known their whole lives. We have house 2 with physical security, possessions, material values, and self-worth. Right? So you have this very secure attitude. You're very centered in your self-worth. And I feel like that also reflects on the things that you own or possess in life. And so you may drive a really nice car. You may have a really nice house. You may be able to go on vacations whenever you want. Or if you don't, it's just the things that you have. You keep them very well kept, right? Like, and so they look like they're fancy, or they look like they came from the rich, or whatever it is. It's just because you care about the things in your life, because you care about yourself, right? And so there's that energy here while you're taking care of you. It's like you unknowingly are putting off this energy to others. It's not even that you're putting it off. It's like you're unbeknownst to you appearing that you're better than others, because that's what people feel. Oh, because they got nice shoes, or they're always wearing Jordans, or they're always wearing Dolce & Gabbana, or they're always got Prada, or they always got name brands. Like they always come in with Pepsi, or they always come in with Coke. Or I don't know if you guys drink Coke or soda. I don't. I just am saying, like, you may have name brands. Maybe you got Nabisco or something like that, right? Like you're always eating name brands and not like Great Value or the store brand Kroger and what's the other ones that are out there. Anyways, like you're always eating name brand because you like name brand. Like you spend the extra money on yourself. You're not worried about it because you know that's what you like. Why are you going to sacrifice what you like? Whoa, okay. What's this one? No. There's one more. I can feel it. Okay, I guess it's 2 more. We'll see. Alright. I don't feel like any of these are yours. We have love is infinite. We can always make more room for, or we can make room for more when we want to. 44. Like that's how I feel like you are. A lot of repeat numbers for you, pile 2. A lot of repeat numbers. But I feel like you're just a very calm, cool, and collected kind of person. Like you're not really like trying to be anybody that you're not. So we have number 46, which is 10. We have the way of the faithful is committing to paying the price, even if the cost is unknown. There you go. That's exactly what you've done. You've paid the price. You're just like, this is the journey I'm on. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing it because it's what I want to do. I'm honest with myself. I'm taking the strides that I need to develop myself. And it's like people feel like you haven't paid a price. And so that competition comes up. Oh, well, I can do it better. Right? Anything you can do, I can do better. Anything you can do, anything I can do better than you. No, you can't. And then what do they say? Yes, I can. No, you really, really can't. Because if it's not meant for you, you're not going to do better. Look, number 41, 5. Again, like we have 41, 41, 14. Only the most broken people can make the greatest leaders. Yeah, you're a natural born leader because you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot in your life. And we have number 18. Both sides of the coin contain sorrow. Boom. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like they don't feel like you've ever had any hardships in your life, and that's so far from the truth. Right? You have had hardships in your life. Just because you don't talk about them doesn't mean anything. Okay, I'm going to check these off of camera just to make sure that they're not inappropriate, and then we will read these out of the book. Oh, I love this. This is so beautiful. We have compassion. Look at this picture with these pink peacock feathers. These look like flamingos. Oh no, those are snakes. My bad. I thought they were flamingos, but no, they're actual snakes. These are actual snakes here. The heart, compassion. You driven by your third eye. It's like your third eye shoots out to everything, but that's because you're willing to connect with how you feel. This is everything we were talking about. You're very kind to yourself. You're compassionate to yourself. What my heart wants matters. I feel like you live by that. Like you just naturally live by that. Like it's something that you had to learn after a lot of hardships. And you're like, no, if I don't want to do something, I'm not just going to be a yes person. Let me see what the other one is. Okay, this one's not too bad. A new sprout. Look at this. This is beautiful. Look, again, the third eye is just beaming out open. It's like you're connected with your creative energy. We've got hummingbirds coming out here, which is healing energy from source. Sprouting, like just this energy of feminine. This feels very feminine to me. You're very much in this place of receiving what's truly and rightfully yours. Right? That's what this is saying together. We'll read these out of the book too. We'll find out what more they say. But that's what I feel like. It's like you're on a new journey here. You're on a new beginning because of the compassion that you hold for yourself. And that's what people are trying to compete with, something that they don't actually even know anything about. Compassion. Anything you can do, I can do better. Anything I can do better than you. No, you can't. Yes, you can. That's my AC turning on. Okay. Can you see that? It says, difficult encounters and experiences have opened up my eyes to my own feelings, to my truth. Isn't that everything we said in the beginning? I perceive the beings and situations that made my life an uphill struggle as valuable teachings on my path. Experiences that at first sight appeared to be the opposite of love have taught me to see the offering that life makes to me moment to moment. Today I received this gift, a learning about deep and unconditional love that dwells within me. I recognize in myself a great force that compels me to alleviate the pain in other beings. A love manifesting itself in one of the purest forms, that higher passion, that love called compassion. Now, what if compassion does not include me? If the compassion is not within me as well, it is not complete. For what is the point of comforting other beings if I treat myself harshly? My growth is not born out of demand, guilt, or cold attitude toward my problems. My growth is born when I open myself to love, when from the depths of my being, softness and compassion emanate. Compassion for myself and compassion for others. Self-care. Limits. Everything matures in its own time and without force. Which is so awesome that you got a new sprout here because, right, a mighty oak doesn't grow overnight. I do not need to earn anything. I always deserve. I also understand that if I need it, I can ask for help. When I am disturbed or distracted too much, my mind is like churning water. And I love that because we did have the Ace of Cups talking about that self-love and self-compassion. Also with all the Swords cards coming out, talking about them trying to play tricks on your mind, right? When it's churning like water. If I hate, my mind burns like fire. When my ignorance overshadows the truth, I forget what is important. Only with gratitude, I abandon the things that bind me, the harmful spaces and the habits that do not nourish me. When I abandon these things and practice detachment, I quiet my being and return to the origin. I pay attention to my body, mind, and soul with love and care. Compassion begins with me. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy yourself, practice compassion. I love this card. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. So then let's check out a new sprout. Awesome. Turned right over to it. This one's kind of long too. That's all right. Okay, pull this up here. It says, there are memories of my ancestors living in me. I honor these memories, and I also appreciate the personal resources that they developed. That helped them survive and navigate different circumstances in their lives. Resources that, like a treasure, they passed on to take care of me and to protect me. I bring to light this truth, and I understand that for them it was necessary to live with these strategies. However, now they have become, for me, a burden of outdated resources, an old paradigm that is not my essence, and it is these ancient beliefs that at this very moment I must release. Perfectionism, self-criticism, high expectations, negative inner dialogue, and being self-demanding are consequences of this paradox, leading to expectations and judgments by society. Fearing error, ridicule, and failure is a guarantee that life will pass me by. So what does success mean to me? Right? Again, those questions, I feel like these are important questions you already ask yourself. It says, allowing vulnerability. Today I enjoy new and curious aspects of my humanity, celebrating facets that I once rejected or hid. Today I appreciate that the wonder of being human is due in part to my fragility, ridiculousness, and my differences. A weight is lifted within me, and without forcing change, I gently allow myself to be whoever I am. Vulnerability, I welcome you, because today you are a force that makes me strong. I enjoy myself, I stumble, I make mistakes, and I fail. I laugh at myself and at the character I've created, and old tension dissipates. My heart rate decreases, my anxiety fades away. I lighten my life, and finally my inner judge takes a well-deserved vacation. And this is the energy that I feel you are in, and that's what really rubs others in a really odd way, because they're not seeing it as balance, right? They're seeing it as competition. That's what they are, and that's unfortunately just the way that a lot of people are piled to. But keep doing what you're doing, because you are definitely on the right path. I do feel like you're in your North Node. I feel like you are taking action towards the energy that you're meant to be in. So keep doing that. You're a lovely, lovely, lovely energy. And I'm honored to have been able to connect with you. So if it resonated, leave me a thumbs up. If you got this far, leave a pink and purple heart down below and say, I am a compassionate person, and I am compassionate to myself. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it there and get on out of here. And I want to take a second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for giving us this beautiful message. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this stone or rock, or if you were drawn to these cards during the shuffle, then this is your pile on how does your energy affect others. We are going to look a little bit more into your actual energy itself to see if this is your pile. If it's not, you can definitely check out one of the other piles. Everyone so far has been very, very intriguing and awesome, so I'm excited to see what yours will bring. Real quick, keep in mind that these are general readings, so please take what resonates and leave what does not, knowing that as you interact with my channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing, it does allow me an opportunity to connect directly with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. Also, if you are interested in a personal reading, you will find my email linked down below in the description box. Please send me an email. I will get you out more information, as well as let you know how many more spaces are available for the week, as I only have a finite amount and they do fill up quickly. First come, first serve. And make sure you guys do follow me on over to my podcast at Scatter Love Radio, which you will find linked down below, and you can take me with you on the go. Let's see, is that everything? I think that's everything that I want to get into. So let's go ahead and get into the reading and find out, how does pile number 3's energy source affect others? How does pile 3's energy affect others? Source, what can you tell us about pile 3's energy and how it affects others? Okay, so we have Gemini, 12th house, and Mars. I feel like you may get into some very heated debates about belief and and religion and what it is that like you believe in or what others believe in. It could be as a whole, or it could be very singular, or like zoned in, like very much on one particular belief set or whatever it is. I feel like people very much feel like they can debate with you, or that they just do debate with you about certain things, right? That could be maybe you believe the spiritual reasons as to why people are involved in, I don't know, with 12th house here, we'll say addictions, or why there's guilt and shame in a lot of people, or why maybe religion brings a lot of guilt and shame. I don't know why I keep getting put towards religion, but that's what keeps, like, I keep feeling like this is something that has to do with religion, or how you believe, or what you see, the lens you see the world through, and how you approach it is very much a bar above the rest, is what I'm hearing. And because of that, it like opens up a lot of debate. So like, if take Christianity for example, it's so weird. I actually heard a guy the other day on a show I was watching, and he mentioned that he's not Christian. His culture, he grew up with Hinduism and everything. And he's like, but I know that the Christian God is a very easily to anger kind of God. Like, he gets very upset, and, you know, it's easy to make him mad and things like that. And I laughed because I was like, that's something that's very... It's accurate, right? It's something that's accurate. Everyone, oh no, God the Father's a very loving Father, right? But there's stories in the Bible that talk about how easily angered God is, and so like that belief, right? And I'm only bringing this up because it feels like that's the type of stuff that you say. You're like, oh well, but this is what it talks about in the Bible, or in the Quran, or in the Book of Mormon, or in, you know, whatever it is. It's like maybe you've read all these things, all these scripts, all these texts, all these books, and you have a wide knowledge. And it doesn't just have to be religion, but that's the example they keep giving me, okay? Like, it could be anything. It could just be in general. Like, you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and people just like to get in debates about it with you, like you don't know what you're talking about, or like you don't have a clue. And it's like, you're backing it up with concepts and propositions, and you have a premise to the whole thing, and it's like they're in this place of coming from an emotional egoic area where it's like, no, I'm right and you're wrong. But it's like your energy affects people this way. It's almost like they want to lawyer it up with you. Sorry, that was so weird. That was a funny way to say it. Okay, so, but that's what it was. It's like they want to really prove themselves when it comes to talking to you, because the amount of intelligence and knowledge and spiritual knowledge that you have, and spiritual wisdom that you possess, is intimidating. And it may cause a lot of aggression from others. Like, this is not, but to me, I'm feeling with Gemini next to Mars here, I keep hearing debate. I'm going to debate pile number 3. I'm going to tell pile 3 why they're wrong, but they never have any facts or any information to back their argument. Like, it just feels like people want to get into an argument with you. Maybe it's because you're really calm and collected. And so it's like to see if they can rattle you. It's to see if they can shake you up. It's to see if they can get you out of your calmness. And so it's like, more or less, let me argue with you, pile 3, and see how I can make you feel in one way or the other. You just carry a lot of intelligence and wisdom and unknown, right? With 12th house and Gemini here, this is a lot of unknown wisdom. Like, where does it come from? Nobody knows. You just possess it. It's something that you have. It's good, right? That's a beautiful thing. And it's through that there's some form of intimidation coming through here. You know, Mars is a very aggressive planet. And so you could have brutality and maliciousness coming through here. You could even have people who are really mean to you. Like, if they feel like they've lost, it's not that they've won or lost. It's like, if they feel like they've lost, then they could turn very malicious or treat you very unkind. And that's just because your energy, you just possess a lot of innate wisdom. Like, it's almost like you don't even have to try. Like, you just have a lot of wisdom about things. And so your energy just possesses this, like, oh, get into a debate with me and I'll show you why type energy. It's nothing bad. It's, I feel like debates can be fun, right? Like when you're having a friendly debate where it's just like, it's not about whoever wins. It's literally about the discussion that's happening, right? And learning points from either party. But it feels like you get involved with people who are very much in their emotional ego, like, I have to be right, otherwise I'm going to make everyone suffer, right? So I feel like your soul tribe is a tribe that just naturally likes to debate. And so when you connect with your soul tribe, it's fun, right? Or the people who are meant to be in your life. Like, you guys are able to bounce ideas off of one another. You're able to gain knowledge and wisdom from one another. You're able to see things from different perspectives. But most of the time, people just argue for the sake of arguing, and it's just because they feel, really insecure around you. So your energy brings up a lot of insecurities within themselves. They feel stupid. They feel like they don't know what's really being talked about, and so they may argue some really odd points. Or, we could say it's some stupid points, but they might not actually be stupid. They just might be odd because it might be the only thing that they actually truly know about and feel like they can bring into the conversation, because you may talk way above their heads without it's not like you intentionally do this. Like, it's just in your nature. This is who you are. You're a very open person to the wisdom of the world, and so you like to share that. Especially with Gemini here, you have the sign of networking, the sign of creative curiosity, right? Like, I'm out there, I'm curious, I want to learn things, and through learning, I also want to communicate, right? Gemini, ruled by Mercury, wants to communicate what they've learned with everybody. They want to share it. So it's a very natural thing. Yeah, you make people feel very stuck. Like, they don't have anything to offer. They don't hold a candle to your light, right? So how does pile number 3's energy affect others, Source? Thank you. How does pile 3's energy affect others? Whoa, thank you. Yeah, look. Okay, so this is such a trip here. Because in truth, with the 4 of Swords in reverse and the Sun in reverse, these are very similar energies of feeling hemmed in, stuck, unable to move. Like, cat got your tongue, right? And look, they both came out. I'm not surprised, because that's exactly why people want to argue with you. Yeah, they don't, with the 6 of Coins in the reverse, they don't have anything to offer. They don't. Like, it's almost like you're like, here we go again. Like, I gotta make myself known. I gotta make myself heard, and this person's gonna walk away and they're gonna be upset about it. Right? Yeah. Because it's an illusion that they're trying to put a label on the fact that, oh, pile 3, they're a know-it-all, or pile 3, they think they know it all, or this, that, and the other. And they're just really coming from a very negative place, right? And they're feeling inadequate because you're shining so bright. Yeah, this is just pretty simple, really, but it's like they're arguing with you just for the sake of argument. It's like, I want to bring pile 3 down. I want them to see my world through my eyes, but it's not, they don't care what you have to offer. I feel like a lot of times you may walk away from, like, you may get into the debate because it's something you like, right? And it could be anything. It could be a discussion. Yeah, you love it. You love it. You are a natural born arguer. That's like, you could be a lawyer. You could be a paralegal. You could definitely be in the government. You could have a government job. This is not beyond. I've had quite a few lawyers on my channel, actually, so this doesn't surprise me that there's going to be one of these piles here. But you love it. You enjoy it. It's like the thrill, right? And the thrill of it is what keeps you engaged. And it's like, but there eventually comes a point where you realize that these people have nothing to give. And it's like, you may just fold for the sake of dipping out. Like, you may just be like, okay, cool, you're right, bye. Like, you don't stick around to let them revel in their rightness, because you disappear. And then that's the thing. As soon as you disappear, they're stuck realizing how little they brought to the argument. And then they may remember the things that you said. And they may go look them up just to see if they're correct. And then they see that they are correct. And then they're like, oh my gosh, like pile 3 actually knew what they were talking about. Like, I really am dumb, you know, like, and it makes them feel worse. It's not a ha-ha in your face. That's not what this is. It's just like, it makes them feel worse, because it's like, it's almost like after you leave, they realize just how insincere they truly were. Like, there was no real fun in the debate. It was literally like, I want to be right. I have to be right. I have to appear like I'm the bigger, badder person. Like, I have to appear like I'm on a higher place than pile 3. And it's like, you're the one that I feel will basically bow out. You're like, okay, this is not worth my time anymore. So instead of wasting my energy, have a nice life. And you bow out and you're like, okay, bye. Like, you go and do you. But it really has to do with, there's a thrill here in the conversation. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a debate. It could just be a conversation. Like, you could just know a lot. You know a lot in the spiritual realm. You know a lot of spiritual knowledge. You know a lot of spiritual wisdom. And it's like something that really fulfills you to share that with others and to talk about that with others. It's something you generally love. Whatever this is, and whoever you are, the energy that you possess, okay, the energy that you exude, you genuinely love that about yourself. You're like, I really love this about myself. Like, I think it's really cool. It's something you've never questioned, this aspect of yourself. It is something you've always relished in. And so it's a very strong part of who you are, because you've never tried to shy away from it. It's just something that happens naturally. Right? Like, if you help heal others, you just naturally have helped heal others. If you give wisdom to others, you just have always naturally given wisdom to others. It's not something that you like strive to do. You just, at a soul level, enjoy it. And so why they're giving me a lawyer here, like why they're giving me debates, that makes sense. It can be applied to anything, really. But it's like, you just have so much knowledge in your area of expertise, if you will, here. Because you're constantly learning, you're constantly honing it without ever realizing. Like, you don't feel like you're putting an effort into it. It's just naturally happening for you. But you are drawn to things that will help you build that wisdom and knowledge. And so you share that. It's just something that's very, very easy for you to do. Right? And it really makes people feel inadequate, insecure, self-conscious. Like, they're just like, whoa, I do not hold a candle to pile 3 at all. They just don't. They don't feel like they even are in the same realm as you, and they don't understand why. And it's like, then when they stop and they try to study about the things that you know about, it's like, it's like putting a toe into the pond and realizing that the pond is too deep for them to even swim in. Like, there's that, no, I can't. Like, I thought I could just graze over this. Like, these are like skim readers, right? Like, people who skim read stuff, they skim over it. And the people who do the footnotes, okay? You remember Cliff Notes from school? My brother always loved those books. He would get the book, he would read the book, but then he'd still go get the Cliff Notes. And I never understood why, if he read the book, right? Like, he's like, no, I get the Cliff Notes. He would always tell me, I get the Cliff Notes to borrow out to people. And I was like, so why are you... But that's what he did, because then he could have conversations with them naturally, right? Because he read the book. And so that's what it is, though. It's like, these are people who go by the Cliff Notes. Like, they only learn from the Cliff Notes. And it's like, have you guys ever seen Don Quixote, that book? Like, Don Quixote is an incredibly long book. It is so long. And it is, like, if you're not willing to read it, it's boring. It is so boring. Like, I've read it. Well, not the whole thing. I've not read the whole thing. I'm in the process of reading it now. But it's funny because Don Quixote is a character. Like, he's just a trip. Anyways, that's off topic. But it's like that massive book, and you'd miss so much if you just read the Cliff Notes. Like, you would miss his character, like the truth and the depth of his character. And that's what it is for you. Like, you're in the thick of it. and you've got the depth and the all-around energy and information that comes from that, a well-rounded being, and you're dealing with people who want to get by on a shortcut, right? Like, oh, I'm just going to shortcut my way through this and hope that I'm right. And when they're not, they're mad that their little trick didn't work, and you're like, get out of here with that. That's just crazy. Some people, they really think that life is full of shortcuts that'll make them win. And I hate to say it, but that's not true. There are no shortcuts in life. There aren't any. Yeah, and you deal with a lot of tricksters, like people who try to trick you into thinking there's something that they're not. Right? On the bottom of the deck. Look, I cannot make this up. We have the 6 of coins coming out on the bottom of the deck. This time in the upright. This is you. Like, you're ready for an equal give and take. Like, you want people to give it to you so you can give that to them. It's like, cool, let's talk. Let's get into a deep discussion. Let's be real about this. Let's be real. But nobody wants to, because everybody's so surface level all the time and superficial. And it's like, you're like, I'm done with the superficial side of life. Like, I don't want to live on that anymore. I want people to really, if you're going to discuss this topic with me, let's discuss it. Let's not just say 1 or 2 lines about it and hope it's going to get us somewhere. Yeah, you're done with people who aren't doing the work. You're done with people who are tricksters. You're done with people. Like, this is a completion for you. You're like, no, that's why you bow out. You're not in it for the emotional ego. You're not in it for the pride. You're in it for the thrill. And if it loses that je ne sais quoi, if it loses that thrill, you're like, I'm out. I'm sorry, I'm gone, because it's no fun for you anymore. If it's not fun, what's the point? Yeah, look, you bring judgment to others. I'm sorry, that just cracks me up. Oh, that's how your energy affects them. Like, all of a sudden people are standing in the judgment of, wow, I am nothing compared to pile 3, and I really thought I could stand a chance. I really thought I could. Like, y'all are learning addition and I'm over here on calculus. It ain't working. It just ain't working. You're trying to be on chapter 1 and compare it to my chapter 50. Like that's the thing. And it's like, they really thought they could shortcut their way through it, or these people really think they can. Like, that's why they debate with you. They really think they can shortcut their way through it. And you're like, hold up. Like, I actually know what I'm talking about here. But it's like, the minute you realize that these people don't know what they're talking about, or they don't have anything to add. So I'm saying, you're a bigger person about it. Like, you're like, bye. Cool. You know everything. Bye. Like, you don't even tell them they're wrong. And maybe you do, but you do it in a very poetic way that makes them feel like they're winning. And then it's like, my grandma always said, do it in such a way that they didn't realize that you insulted them until you're long gone. And I feel like that's the type of stuff that you do. It's not like you're trying to insult them, but you do it in such a graceful way. You're like, look, okay, fine, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, go ahead. And then they don't realize it until they're sitting with themselves, and then they're like, whoa, I just really made a fool of myself. Yeah, look, we have the Lover over the love. Oh, this card is my soulmate card in the deck. But in your reading, it's interesting because in your reading, it's really coming from a place of the soul. Like, that's what it's saying. Like, your heart is fulfilled in whatever this is. It could be knowledge. It could be spiritual wisdom. It could be just love. It could be healing. It could be anything, right? It's just love. And here you have the Lover coming out. Like, you have a choice. You always have a choice. You have a choice to stay rooted in your love, or you have a choice to get involved in the argument of it. And most of the time, I think for a long time, you probably just stayed in just because the thrill was so great for you, you didn't even care. And so you would carry on for people who would just send you in a roundabout, people who wanted to trick you, people who wanted to suck your energy. And it took you learning. You learned how to heal this aspect of yourself. And now it's like you call out people in a certain way, but it's not like, I don't feel like this is physical. It's like, it's almost like because you leave, it forces their higher self to all of a sudden come through and be like, hey, that is not how we act in this life, okay? You know how your parents are like, you better be on your best behavior? And whatever you do, if you don't act right, we're going to come sit back out in the car, and you're not going to get to go into the store. You're not going to get to go into the mall. You're not going to, right? Do y'all ever have a parent like that? Anyways, that's what it feels like. And we have a lot of sixes here. We have the 6 of cups, the 6 on the lovers, and 6 of coins twice. So you may see 666 a lot, showing that you're truly balanced and harmonious individual. Also, 6 is the number of seeing yourself from the highest light and love, right? So there's a very balanced energy here. We see that here with the 6 of coins coming out reversed next to the 6 of coins in the upright. You're very balanced. Like, you don't care when people are imbalanced. Like, it's like, I'm just trying to share what I have. But the minute that people take from you, you leave. And that also leaves them in this place of emptiness. Like, your absence is greatly felt. That's how it affects others. It's so big. It's so large. You have a very large presence to you. And that may be why people try to debate with you and argue with you, because they're trying to take the lead, right? They're trying to take the spotlight. Some people really can't stand it when another person's in the spotlight who they feel like just doesn't even want it. Like, why are they in the spotlight if they don't even want it? And it's like, you just have that type of energy. You're naturally in that energy. And it's like nothing bad. But some people just cannot handle it, and they want to take the spotlight too. But sometimes people will really truly make a fool of themselves to take the spotlight. And I feel like you deal with that quite a bit. You deal with it. Oh, here we go again. Oh, here we go. Why do I hear that song? Oh, we there's a demon inside. Oh, we feels like Jekyll and Hyde. Who's that by? Five Finger Death Punch, I think, is the name. That is a heavy metal song. But yeah, that's what it feels like. You're always fighting Jekyll and Hyde. That's what it feels like. It's not that they're, but that you bring out the dusty demons within others, right? Because of this. And you're also one to not be the one to carry it. You're like, nope. That's your demon to deal with. That's your crap to deal with. That's your burden to deal with. I'm out. And you go out. Yeah, look, activation with wind, activation. Look, again, this idea, right? This is the Gemini card in here. Look, the activation, talking, the blowing into existence, activating it. Like, you activate those inner demons within them, and now when you leave, your presence is that loss of your presence. It leaves them dealing with this, and they're like, oh crap, like, and there's nothing they can do because they try. When somebody tries to BS their way through, right? Okay, you're getting 2 of these. When someone tries to BS their way through life, they realize very quickly, like, yeah, you may win for a little while. What is it? Those that are first will end up last. And those that are last will end up first. That is the nature of life. So if you're not in the front runner, or you haven't been in the front runner of life, you already know your time is coming. But those that have spent a long time out in front, having everything the way that they wanted it to, or having the appearance of, the illusion of things being the way that they wanted them to, I feel like they're going to quickly soon believe and understand that it was all exactly what it was, an illusion. And you can't hide from that. Like, look, spiritual, or grow and expand. Spiritual growth is what I was going to say with Jupiter here. Big old luck coming through. Luck be a lady tonight. Alright, let me get one of these for you. Okay, actually, you're going to get 2. I feel like those 2 want to come out. Like, we have 42 on the bottom. Before breakthrough, you must go through a breakdown. Like, that's why I feel like you're in this strong, balanced energy now, is because you already went through a breakdown. You already realized that some people just want to suck you dry. Yeah, meadow, vulnerability. This is why people want to debate with you. They feel like because you're vulnerable, you're weak. And for you, you found that this is your biggest strength in life. I feel like this wants to be like this. Yeah, look at this. We have dolphin, happiness. You do it because you're happy. Like, I'm happy. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know how that song goes. Isn't that by, no, it's not Bruno Mars. It's the other guy. John Legend? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's who sings that song. 'cause I'm happy. And I don't know all the words, but yeah, that's the song. Like, yeah, you just generally enjoy it. You like it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Look, we have 42, 6. Look, 42, 42, 42. Look at this. Oh my gosh, 6, like 6, balance, balance. Look, number 2, secrets, yeah. You realize that you have to keep things under wraps because people are trying to put you into a bubble. They're trying to suck all your energy out of you, right? They're trying to keep you in this dualistic energy, and you're like, no, I'm already balanced. Look, all of the art I have worked on has been for love or hate, which is love gone wrong. That's so true. Like, you just love it, and sometimes you hate it, but it's still giving you, like, a reason to continue on. And we have water signs here: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have spirituality, emotions, intuition, and compassion, bringing me back to exactly what I was saying, like religion, spirituality, just seeing the world in a different way. Like, that's what it feels like. It doesn't have to be that, but that's what it does feel like to me. Okay, what do we have? 3, and you're pile 3. Sometimes it takes a wrong turn to get to the right place. Yeah, and I definitely feel like you're in the strength of your energy, but it's like you had to go a wrong turn with a lot of these people, with a lot of these situations, to realize, like, me continuing on and trying to give people my wisdom, to try and give people who don't want it, who just want to argue, it's not worth your time. Like, it's something you've learned. And so you've definitely learned to come into this place of being secretive about your own journey. We have 35. When you lock yourself into a dream of how it should be or how your life should be, you limit yourself. Yeah, and so this is how most people approach you. Like, they're locked into an idea of how it needs to be, and they're coming from a very limited mindset. And you've let go of that. You're kind of in the flow of life. Like, this is just how it goes. We're going to go with how it goes. I'm going to check these off screen to make sure that they're not inappropriate or if I need to cover them up. But we will read these out of the book. Everybody got 2. Look, everything is connected. Wow, look at this card. That skull right there and this person. That's insane. But again, it feels like, look, it's like this wisdom, right? Okay, this looks like a couple of things, but let's just say this looks like this wisdom. I keep getting the 5th element looking at this card, right? Like that idea that there's something greater out there than we even know. And you have the skeleton and the nervous system coming out here. It's like showing like someone trying to be bigger than you through the throat chakra here, right? But look at how, like, you're just coming in and doing what you do, and it's like demolishing this bigger being. Like, they're not actually bigger than you, and it makes them feel insecure. There's even a tear coming out of his eye up here. Look. Can you see that? Will that focus? There we go. There's like a tear coming out here. Everything is connected. All right, what do we have here? Oh, okay. Stories of my mother. Look at the eye. Look, and this is what, again, isn't this the symbol on the dollar? It's like talking about, hold on. Not the conspiracy, the Illuminati. The Illuminati. I heard someone say it. Thank you. Yeah, so this is like the Illuminati coming through here. Like, things that are unknown, right? That's what the Illuminati is all about. It's like things that isn't really general wisdom. It's not general knowledge, but it's like things you know. And then we have stories of my mother. It's like you have been passed down a gift from your mother's line. Okay, like, it doesn't matter if you're a man or if you're a woman, whatever you identify with. That's not what matters here. It's like you've been given a gift from your mother's line is what this is telling me here. And it's something that's very deep and that's not seen by many. Look at how this is a black and white picture you have here, but it's kind of blurry. Everything is blurry. It's not seen clearly, but you're the one who sees it clearly, right? Okay, so let's read these out of the book. Pretty sure that song was on the Troll movie. Sometimes stuff makes me laugh. See, I know a lot of things, but I don't know everything. I will say that. And I'm not afraid to say it either. Shoot. But that's the song that's coming. 'Cause I'm happy. Okay. And if you guys know the lyrics, type it down below in the comments. And if this is resonating with you, leave a white heart down below and say, I claim my knowledge and wisdom, right? Let others know. It says, everything is connected. I am all the characters in this image. I am the Trinity, human, spirit, and the universal intelligence. Yes, you are so connected. I am my roots and the depth of culture present in my identity. I am stories and unfathomable mysteries. There are infinite movements in the world. I observe them, and I observe the connection between all things. I also observe that I am all things. How I feel in here is how it feels out there. Because one does not live alone, and what happens to me is happening to the world. Respect. Respect is one of the most important values in establishing harmonious relationships with me and the world around me. I am in connection with myself, with you, and with life. That connection reminds me that every small change in me has the potential to create an effect all around me, like a drop of water generating ripples when it falls into the pond. With a loving disposition toward my own being and towards all creatures who live and grow, I nurture peace in my heart, and this is how I also nurture peace in the heart of the world. My earthly heart is a sacred responsibility. Wow. So he's saying, even though people try to, disengage you from yourself, you just bounce out and you're just okay with that. You're like, nope, bye. And it doesn't bother you one way or the other. You just know that it's time to go. And that's what leaves people's feeling so empty, because you're so connected with yourself and with source and with the higher power, whatever it is that you believe in. You're like, oh, this isn't working for me. I got to get out of here later. Like you're just cool about it. You're like, all right, I'm done. And then everyone else is like, oh, you abandoned me. And you're like, no, I just did what was right for me. Okay, stories of my mother. This illustration tells me to pay attention to the information embedded in my DNA, which is a map that guides me to the mold of my heritage. In order to know that mold and how it has shaped me, I have to make a journey that begins in the womb of my biological mother. My body was gestated in her body, and during the pregnancy, we were one being. Every day, her blood... Hold on just a second. Sorry. Okay. Every day, her blood carried chemical information generated from her emotions, thoughts, and experiences. Everything she went through, my body felt as well. When I entered the world, my upbringing was immersed in a certain cultural identity, a nation, a social environment, and a family system that instilled in me many norms and patterns about how to think, act, and react to every situation of daily life. We are who we are because of millennia of cultural molds passed down from generation to generation. This journey now brings me to the present and leads me to observe my spontaneous reactions, even those I sometimes do not understand. I realize that conditioning is a series of movements and memories that are always of the present or of the past. I call these memories knowledge. I have millions of them accumulated of pleasure, suffering, fear, joy, and much more. To this day, I have become the result of these memories. They have conditioned my life. However, they do not condition my observer. The deepest part of me observes without judgment or conditioning, uninfluenced by molds or cultures. It quietly watches me, my memories, my reactions. It simply observes. What am I here for? Observe. The benefits of contemplation are immeasurable. The dual mind is in constant conflict. I stay, I go, I want, I don't want. When I observe it, there's simply no more inner struggle. Today I observe myself with love and full acceptance of who I am, without needing to change reality nor accumulate more information. I observe my thoughts and my emotions without judgment. I accept and embrace myself with everything that comes with it. My gaze expands and thus sees the wisdom to live a full life. Yes, I love this. This is awesome. That's what I was saying. You're very balanced because you've gone through a lot of healing. I feel like at one time maybe you were not this balanced and you probably did let people leech on your energy, but now you become very, very balanced, and that leaves people wanting to be around you but feeling your absence when you leave. And so it affects people very deeply and in a very emotional way. It also, I feel, with this card coming out, actually these two cards coming out, I do feel like you help them heal an aspect of their mother wound, which helps them come into this place of balance within. But it's not without feeling the sting of your absence first, okay? So if this resonated, hit that thumbs up button down below. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it there and get on out of here. I do want to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angels, source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this beautiful message. And with that being said, until next time, stay human. Bye, Pile 3.